It is the number one concern among retirees and pre-retirees year after year. The number one fear, people planning for retirement running out of money. And while the stats bear that out, some of it might be a fear that the financial industry continues to feed. This is a piece of a TV commercial I saw this week for a company called Empower. It shows a woman at her kitchen table drinking a health shake when her husband asks this.
Do you ever worry we'll live forever?
No, it's literally never crossed my mind.
What if we live to like 100? That's 35 years of being retired. I don't want to outlive our money, and I've been eating all these stupid chia seeds. I could totally live to be 100. Why do I keep taking such good care of myself?
Since we started working with Empower, we're able to get all our financial questions answered, so we don't have to worry.
Do you see people come into your office out of fear? And then what is that like? Are you able to calm them down once you do the numbers, you do the hard math on their retirement?
Well, I think that the fear of outliving your income is definitely a concern for retirees. I mean, the reality is moving into retirement time is something new. And anytime you're going to do something different than you're not used to, it is a little bit challenging. The first time that I got up and spoke in front of an audience of people, it was, fearful. I've had a lot of great guests like you guys come on the show, and a couple of them, were fearful of getting on the radio and talking, but you get used to it after you've done some planning, done some research. Our job is to take fear and turn it into freedom for the clients that we work with. And, if you have that fear, I'd say first and foremost from this segment, pick up the phone, give us a call, reach out to us. 419-794-3030 is how you get a hold of us. Let's have the conversation and talk about what are some of those concerns that you have. And we'll talk about how to calm the retirement concerns that you have. And really, what my experience would tell you is that through a planning process that is a comprehensive planning process, the role of a financial advisor can take that fear and turn it into freedom. So things that we're going to do is we're going to look at your financial planning. We're going to take a comprehensive financial analysis of your current financial situation, looking at things like your assets, your liabilities, your income, your expenses, your goals. Develop that retirement plan that allows you to live the lifestyle that you dreamed of, or at least allow you to know what is realistic of what your retirement looks like. The second thing that we're going to do is in retirement, all roads lead to income. We're going to work on creating a written retirement income plan. So you might have some type of financial plan. Maybe it's when you log into your 401k, it gives you some projections. It could be things like, you've had a financial plan developed by somebody else. But a written retirement income plan is talking about creating a sustainable retirement income strategy that ensures that you have enough reliable and consistent cash flow that can live forever. And that's things like maximizing your Social Security and optimizing what your benefits are. Things like your pensions. That could be shifting money from risky assets to things that provide more predictable income. It could be, reliable income through higher dividends and interest, more fixed rates with how fixed rates are today, or it could be more reliable income through things like annuities. We're going to talk about things that could blow it up. I think a lot of the times when people come in and they have that fearful look, it's because something bad happened to them that brought them into the office. Maybe they planned on working for another 5 years, and unfortunately, the company shut down or the job layoff happened, and they didn't make it the next 5 years like they wanted to. Maybe it was they or a loved one had a healthcare crisis. Maybe they had to step back from work because they had to, deal with that. And so when we look at the risk management section, we're saying, what are the other types of risk that could impact the success of having enough money that lasts forever, like market volatility, inflation, somebody passing away prematurely, and how can we develop those risk management? Giving you an investment strategy that you understand what the methodology, the process is, something that's tailored to your risk tolerance, but also is tailored to the amount of risk that you need to take to try to achieve your outcomes. We then bring in people like Scott and Troy, from America's Medicare Associates, and look at your healthcare planning. If you got to retire before 65, how do you get affordable healthcare? What does it look like when you look at 65, Medicare Advantage or a supplement, and then ultimately protecting you from a long-term care? Now, in a previous segment, you had talked, Dave, about some things that I think also make us fairly unique. It's not just getting you started, it's walking you through that entire process. So the other things that are really important for us is, one is our educational support. Some of our most popular events that we have would be like our economic summits that we do twice a year. But we also have these baby boomer basic classes that we typically teach like at, Lourdes or Bowling Green State University. And it's the basics of retirement. But what we have is we have clients that'll come back out to them 2 or 3 times. It's like watching a movie. And, after you watch a movie a couple times, you pick up a couple new things. The same is true with our educational support system that we have here. And the last thing that we do is regular monitoring and adjustments along the way, and then communicating that back to our clients with what those changes are going to have as we do the investment committee. And I think those are the type of things that we go through when we're looking at, how to help calm retirement concerns. Do you see, I guess, a lot when you're getting together with clients? I mean, they come in with these concerns like the commercial or the fear of outliving their income. Curtis, what do you say to people when you talk to them about those fears or concerns, and how do you put them a little bit more at ease?
Well, Nolan, I agree with everything you said about the fears and life changes and things like that. One of the biggest fears, I think everybody in this room, it doesn't matter what age you're at, we're in a hyper-connected world nowadays, Nolan. And so we've got everything at our fingertips. And so fear of missing out is a big deal for investors. Mm-hmm. They come in, they Google things, there's a zillion things out there. So helping them, before we even get into the numbers, let's define your priorities. Let's set realistic goals, because they don't understand. There's too much going on sometimes, So we meet with them and just address it. Focus on the personal growth that they need to get there.
Yeah, we do. We live in that society today where it's in your face, and you could get up and watch the news in the morning, and it talks about now's the best time ever to be invested in the market. And I could go out to lunch, and by the time we get back from lunch, it could be talking about another article is today's the worst time ever. So no wonder it drives investors' fears. When you look at what the news can be out there and getting you off track with your decisions. What do you do when you're working clients through, dealing with their emotions when it comes to investing?
I think the important thing here is that a lot of anxiety starts once a client has made a decision about how to invest, where to invest, and what their anticipated income is going to be in retirement. Well, those aren't etched in stone. We try to build plans that have flexibilities built into them and give us the opportunity to make a pivot as an advisor for a client who needs to make a change for whatever reason. I would say that being able to be flexible, being able to educate, and being able to answer the client's questions and concerns throughout the process is a key to maintaining their confidence that we're doing the right thing for them.
Yeah, and so if you're listening, you kind of feel like maybe you're sitting out there on an island, or maybe you're worried, with it being an election year or the wars or whatever your concern is. And if you want a little bit of guidance, just know, again, we're a phone call away. We're happy to help walk you through that, just to be able to bounce some ideas off of and give you some guidance in, today's what an uncertain world that we do live in.
There's a lot of things certainly to be concerned about out there in the market, and those feelings are valid. We're not going to minimize those by any means. But when emotions come into play, we've talked time and time again about the show. When you make emotional decisions, sometimes they are rash decisions. They are the incorrect decision. If you have a proper plan in place, that takes into account the fact that, yes, the market is going to go up and down, and we're going to have elections every couple of years. It happens, and to hopefully account for these things if and when they do happen, so you can kind of stay the course. Hopefully, not avoid making these emotional decisions. But that's also not to say that things are set in stone. That is a set it and forget it plan. When the market dictates, or whatever factors dictate changes need to be made, the team at America's Retirement Headquarters, they will be there to walk you through the process and figure out what needs to be done right now, why we're going to do it, and how you go about doing it. But it all falls back on having a plan put in place. And the first step to do that is reach out, 419-794-3030. That is the website. The guys mentioned the events that they do throughout the year. currently on hold right now as we come up on the end of the year. Got a lot of stuff lined up for the beginning of the year, but you can go to arhq.com, click on the events tab to find out when those events are coming up. You can also schedule a time to speak with them right now on the website as well, arhq.com.